So what are some of those indicators of malicious activity? How can you know that your system is being compromised? How can you quickly identify that something is wrong? Let's take a look at them. First, you have account lockout. So account lockout is when you try multiple logins and you're triggered, it triggers an account lockout. So you are kicked out of your account. Too many failed login attempts. We couldn't sign you in. Try again later. It happens even on the phone. If you try to insert multiple times your password to unlock your phone and it doesn't work, you will be locked out of your account. That's a account lockout. Concurrent usage, you have multiple simultaneous sessions from different locations. So imagine that you have a session, like you have a user session right now in, suppose in Houston, Texas, for example, and at the same time, the same user is logged in from California. It doesn't make sense. So there is something going on. Probably someone got into their account and is using their account. Access to certain websites or services being denied, blocked content. For example, we talked about the DDoS, distributed denial of service attack. If the system is down, you will see that the access is denied, or it can be for a different reason. Impossible travel. This is login attempts from geographically distant locations in a short time. You have someone who is logging in from the office location first, suppose in Boston, and then 5 minutes later, the person is logging in from China. That's a problem. It's not physically possible. So that's an impossible travel attack. You have resource consumption. What is resource consumption? It is an unusual or excessive use of CPU, memory or network. So the network normally operates at a certain level, and then suddenly it operates with 90% or 95% more memory and more CPU than usual, or more network bandwidth. Then there is something going on, and that's an indicator of malicious activity. Resource inaccessibility. Here, legitimate users are unable to access resources that they normally access. So there is a problem here, and you have to figure out why you're unable to access that resource, probably because someone performed a replay attack or a different type of attack, but the resource is inaccessible. Out of cycle login. So logs generated outside of normal business hours. Generally, every business hour, for example, takes place between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. And for some reason, you see a lot of activity and logins at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. and a lot of file transferred. That should raise a signal. Missing logs. So there are a lot of log entries which are missing. Meanwhile, you know that something happened, but you are not able to find missing logs between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. No one logged in. Meanwhile, you saw people in the office or something. That should raise an alert. That's an indicator of malicious activity, and that's one more. So these are a few indicators that show malicious activity, that show unusual activity in the network, in an application, in a file, in a system, and that should raise awareness.
All right, guys, that concludes our course for today. Let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed it. And make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms, which includes YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Of course, do not forget to order our awesome Amazon flashcards that you can get for just $15, and they're awesome because they help you study.